name is Lester Caracamo. This is the recording of my article presentation. Not a research that I made myself, but a research article, and I want to present what other authors came up with. So much of what I'm gonna say, I do not take property of the research. What I take property is how I am taking this to you, so how I am presenting it. Okay, so I wanted to make the difference, the clear difference, so I don't claim credit for someone else's words. The central topic about the article is that they explore text usage in dashboards. I like to leave you with a thought. A picture is worth 1,000 words, but a word can paint 1,000 pictures. So let's talk about what is the research paper. It was published by the IEEE. I think it means I eat extra egg rolls. No, IEEE is the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, and they have a journal, Transactions on Visualization and Computer Graphics. It was published on January 2025. The title of the research is From Instruction to Insight, Exploring the Functional and Semantic Roles of Text in Interactive Dashboards by Nicole Sultanam and Vidya Settler. It's important that we talk about what is a dashboard. Okay, so let's not make the assumption that everyone that is seeing this video knows what a dashboard, right? So a dashboard is a visual tool, a visualization that was originally designed as a quick visual tool for monitoring and making fast decisions. And due to their success, they have become the preferred way to present data, supporting both analysis and storytelling. So what is analysis? Analysis is examining data. How do we examine data? Through charts, through graphs. And storytelling is when we create a clear and meaningful narrative. So let's keep that in mind. Real quick, let's go over something quite important. When it comes to research articles, I'd like to know who wrote the research article, because with that, I get to not just validate their credentials, but also try to get some insight about their motivation. But I like to analyze, why is a person motivated to tell me this story? What's behind it? If there is a reason behind it. And also, I like to examine the venue. The venue is the journal publisher, which we already mentioned is a Society of Electronic Engineers, is peer-reviewed. So it's a major difference when something is peer-reviewed. It brings credibility, because before being published, many other within that specialty field review it to ensure that the numbers and the statements are not going in a specific interest, or going out of the way that there is no evidence to support the statements. So anyway, the primary researcher for this article is Nicole Sultanam. She is from the University of Toronto, and is a person that works at Tableau Research. Tableau is probably the major, if not the biggest, company within visualizations. If you have not run into using Tableau yet, you will get into it. I think this is my personal statement. I think that no one today can escape Tableau, because it is so big, so popular, and many other things. So Nicole Sultanam, she is the primary researcher, partner with Vidya Settler. Vidya Settler is the co-author. Then I found out that Vidya is the boss of Nicole. Of the research that we're gonna see, Vidya created the so she put the seed, the primary um, research that opened up a chapter for others to research. And then Nicole, in this research that we're gonna see, she is expanding on previous work that Vidya, her boss, um, presented previously. Vidya is from Northwestern University. She got her PhD, and she has published over 100 scientific papers. I take my hat off. My respects for the researchers. Let's review something very important before we go into the details about the research and the major. Let's talk about why is it that information needs visualization. So in life, there are multiple items that generate information. In the screen, you can see a voltmeter. What is the voltmeter? Is providing information about the status of the car battery. The car battery is under the hood, and back in the days, car batteries used to die and leave you stranded in the middle of nowhere. It was a nightmare. Someone came up with the gauge. Okay, so this one is just a gauge and it's giving you numbers, so it's giving you information and it's presenting it. Consider this, presenting it in a way that it only requires a glance to understand it and to make a decision. If you see that the car battery voltage is low, you are not going to drive to LA. So that's a decision, right? You are not going to go far away from your house. You're going to take steps to check that battery. But if you see it in the normal, you're confident, you don't worry about it. So that is the main reason why we need or visualizations help to move information into the spectrum where we can see it rather than looking at a table. So this one, when you have it, a single one, is a gauge. And we're gonna see soon what becomes a dashboard. When we have the voltmeter, that is a gauge. When we put one more next to it, then it's a dashboard. Simple like that. You have a bunch of gauges all together, that's a dashboard. Okay, so dashboards are born when you put together a bunch of gauges. And why are you putting together a bunch of gauges? Because whatever instrument or whatever you want to have information is generating tons and tons of information. And from all that information, you want to make decisions. Look at the Cessna. That guy is flying an airplane. His life depends on the information that all the cars, you go into your car and you find such a nice dashboard, multiple gauges grouped together, you know. And my favorite, the Starship Enterprise. It looks like a big dashboard and they are firing phasers. People are very smart. And then they saw the dashboards doing fine in cars. And they go, why don't we move that about there is information being generated. We need to have decisions made out of the information, and the information keeps on changing. Let's move this into business, and the dashboard is moving to business, and right now is quite successful principle. So as it expanded, then with the expanded functionality, we say that the analysis and the storytelling, okay, grew up in what? In what are the communication goals, the intention, the interaction mechanism, the conversational heuristics, and then it got branched out the facility that these visualization applications created or enabled, of bringing so much information for immediate consumption of a human being, okay, has brought the interest, and we need the help of multiple scientific branches. It is claimed that this is the expanded functionality brought interdisciplinarity. Why interdisciplinarity? Because we have software engineering enabling the displays, and then we have the user experience and how the user is consuming all of these, the linguistics of it, the data visualization, which is our branch of a study, the human computer interaction, information science, and so many others, that they need to be considered, and they are learning as this is developing. So it is quite a big thing, it opened a immense, a huge can of worms. All of that needs to come down to certain orders. So we have researchers, like the two researchers that we are talking about. What is it that a researcher do? Okay, a researcher looks at the current usage. Okay, so look at the flow. We have an order. We look at the current usage, looking at something, how is it being done, the current practice, and then from that there are recommendations that are made on what is being done, the way that someone is doing whatever. There are recommendations that can be done. You can do this better, you can improve it this way. Yeah. And then to go beyond of what is being done, then they also researchers identify opportunities. What we are going to see is the current usage, recommendations, and improvements to go beyond of what is already being done. Very quick, up to now, we have talked about the current usage. We say how a dashboard is made up by a bunch of gauges. The users need to have information to make decisions. So in the article, the authors present the same information in a very dense way. So it's okay. I don't understand why researchers write in such a dense manner or dense style that is difficult to eat it. I mean, you need to read it one time and read it again and read it again, or at least that is the experience. That is what happens to me. We already look at the current usage, okay, and then recommendations. We need to look at what recommendations and what improvements that go beyond. So recommendations is what makes it better. And the authors, okay, they claim that incorporating text into dashboard enhances the user engagement by supporting navigation, providing context, and improving the overall user experience and what can be done about. But they raise the bar to say, to whatever you're doing, we recommend that you integrate text to improve presentation, analytical support, semantics, and interaction. And you put all that inside your dashboard design. So the claim basically is a set of recommendations. And they build these recommendations because they have looked at what is out there. Okay, what is out there is the sample of work that is already been published and that they examine. So they examine a set of 190 dashboards from different families, okay, expert participants. So based on that sample, they come up with this is what is being done, but above everything that is being done, it can be made better with these suggestions, with these improvements. So move the bar by listening to what we have to say. So this is the punchline. The researchers examine the sample that we just talked about, and what are they saying about it? They are coming down with an almost a single recommendation, which is the center is use text in your dashboards. Why? Use text in your dashboards for formatting and layout that aid the navigation. Use the text to help the user understand the data and form analytical questions. Okay. And utilize text to create context and information detail granularity in supporting analytical tasks. And for interaction, the text provides guidance for the interaction. So basically, the center of the research is to give a strong recommendation to us, the designers, the ones that are making these dashboards. What is the recommendation? The recommendation is your work will be better if you utilize text in the dashboard for formatting and layout. That's a navigation aid. Utilize text to help the user understand the data and to motivate the user into formatting, making analytical questions. Utilize the text within the semantics, which is providing detailed information, granularity to support the analytical task that the user gets involved in. And also, please, for you, the one that is using Tableau, the one that is using BI, the one that is creating the design, use the text to provide interaction guidance, to guide your user, to communicate. You know, don't the user can't read your mind as a designer. Just put some text in there to guide it. So follow those recommendations, and that will put you up on the scale of making better dashboards. That's pretty much about it. Thank you very much. I appreciate you listening to me. If I had more time, I would just keep going like if I am lecturing, but I'm not lecturing. And it has been a fantastic experience. See you in another project. Thank you very much. experience.
Oh.
See you.
So I guess text is important for explaining, and actually two of these are more or less guidance for how to interact. Click here, trying to go around without text, then that's going to be a problem. Sometimes the other thing is understanding data. So focus on the text as you go forward with homework and with explanation, obviously, but for the project as well. And then I like this one here, no single definitive solution. But what I might say about this is that the way Tableau works, you saw they looked at 100, and that's kind of, they're trying to see to serve as many people as possible. But what that ends up being is just sometimes it's the lowest common denominator, something that everybody does and likes, rather than very specialized stuff. That's kind of harder to do. You would notice sometimes with these tools like Tableau. Yes, they're big, but at the end of the day, all the data looks almost the same in Tableau. So I guess using text does help at that point, because Civil War data is going to be different. Then you don't want to look exactly the same as, I don't know, economic indices and so forth. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Trying to get it. Let's stop the recording, actually.